Hi everyone, it's Lisa here and welcome back to Crochet with Lisa. Today I'm going to show you how I crocheted this pumpkin using Filet Crochet. I just wanted to pop in this important note here that I am going to guide you through this Filet Crochet for the first 9 rows, practically step by step. After that, you will have to continue along on your own to complete the rest of the Filet Crochet graph. So below my paper, here is my pumpkin. It is much easier to see the pattern if the pumpkin is a little bit further away from you. The finished size of this project is about 14 inches across and about 12 inches high. And this particular piece, I used it in a bag, so for a Halloween trick-or-treating bag. So here is the pattern that I am following, and I will explain that to you. I will try and upload this into the box below so that you can download it, or if you take a screenshot of it, then you should also be able to follow along with that screenshot or print it out. It's up to you. I'm going to use the Bernat Super Value yarn. It is a weight of 4, and I'm also going to use the recommended hook size, which is a 5mm, which also happens to be my favorite size. If we look at our graph here, we see that with this jack-o'-lantern there are 25 boxes across, but we are not using just 25 stitches. We're going to use a stitch for this first black line, 1 for this box, 1 for this black line, 1 for this box, etc., all the way across. So if we have 25, that's 2 stitches per box. So that would be 50 right to here. Then the last one, we also need 1, so 51. So we're going to start with a chain. So I have my orange yarn. Do a slip knot, and I'm going to chain 50 chains. Okay, so I have my 50 chains. I'm going to put my finger on that 50th chain. Then I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to come back to the one that I had my finger on. I'm going to do a double crochet in there. Okay, so I'm going to do a double crochet in all of these across, and we're going to count this last chain 3 as 1 double crochet. So at the end we should have 51. 50 in our chains plus this 1. I've just finished that first row, and I have 51 double crochets, which includes that very first chain that we made. Okay, so now we are finished this first row. These next 2 rows are exactly the same. So I just want to point out, for this second row we have 1 block here. That's a filled in block, so that's going to be an orange block. These white blocks are going to be the blocks where we have a space. So at the beginning of each row and at the end, we have 1 solid block like this. So it's really 3 stitches, remember? 1 for this black line, 1 for the center, and 1 here. Same over here, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to have 3 double crochets together. So we're finished that first row. The second row we're going to chain 2, turn. So that chain 2 takes the place of our double crochet. So we're going to go to our second double crochet. We're going to double crochet in the top of that one and our third one. Okay, so we have 3 double crochets at the beginning of that row. Let me point with something. So we've got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So for across the rest of this row, we're going to have spaces. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So we start with a double crochet, space. We're going to do a chain 1 for that. Double crochet, space. Double crochet, space. So after our 3 double crochets, we're going to chain 1, skip 1 double crochet and chain into the next one. Or skip 1 double crochet and double crochet into the next one. Chain 1, skip a double crochet into the next one. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next one. So we can see we've got 1, 2, 3 holes, spaces. We need to keep going until we have 23. So I'll meet you at the end of this row when we have 23 chain 1 spaces. I'm just at the end of this row and I've got 23 chain 1 spaces. I end it with a double crochet. So remember, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet. So our last block, our last section has to have 3 double crochets together. So I've got 2 more spaces left. So I'm going to double crochet on the top of that double crochet. And then you got to fit one in that chain at the end. Okay, so we're always going to end with 3 double crochets. We begin with 3 double crochets. So we'll chain 2, we'll turn. So let's start marking this graph. So this was row 1, 2, 3, 4. We've completed row 1, row 2. Now over here we can mark the directions. So row 1, 2, and 3, it really doesn't make much difference. So we'll just say that we went this way for row 1, this way for row 2. So row 1, we read it going this way. Row 2, we're reading it this way. Row 3, we're going to read it going that way. Row 4, we're going to come back this way. The reason we have to do that is the picture is not symmetrical. If we look at it up here, there's an obvious difference. If we look at the nose, we can see the nose has 3 open blocks, and that's over the mouth, which has 4 open blocks. So there isn't symmetry here. Even up here in the pumpkin, on this side of the eye, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 closed orange blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have to keep track of which direction you're working in. Okay, so we're on row 3. Row 3 is exactly the same as row 2. So we've just done our chain 2. So we've got these 2 that we're going to do a double crochet in. Again, always 3 double crochets at the beginning. Then we're going to chain 1. So we're going to do a double crochet over the double crochets from the row before. Chain 1. Double crochet, chain 1. So you're just going to follow that pattern all the way across. We're putting our chain 1 spaces above the chain 1 spaces from the row before, and our double crochets are going right on top of those double crochets. So I'll meet you at the end of this row. Just getting to the end of row 3. So I've done my 23 chain 1 spaces above my other chain 1 spaces. I'm at the end in this block here. So I'm going to need 1, 2, 3 double crochets to end. So I've done 2, 1, 2, and always find that chain space at the end to do that last double crochet in. Okay, so done row 3, now row 4. So row 4, we can see that we are going this way. So we're going to start with our first set of 3 double crochets. Then we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 open spaces. So 1, 2, we'll turn. We'll make that block, closed block at the end with our 3 double crochets. And we're going to do 4 open blocks. So that's chain 1. Then we're going to double crochet in the top of our double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet in the top of the double crochet. We'll do that until we have 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 blocks that we have to fill in. So 15 will be, remember it's 2 stitches a box, so 1, 2, 3, 4, so 15 is 30, and 1 more is 31. And then we should have 4 open blocks. So we'll do 31 double crochets. So here we have our first double crochet. Now we've got an open block below, so we're just going to double crochet through that block and then into the double crochet through the block, or through that chain 1 space. Okay, so I just did a double crochet right into that space. Didn't worry about trying to get into that chain. So work on that till you have 1, until you have 31. Right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll keep going until I have 31 double crochets. So I have my 31 double crochets. And we can see how I have 4 open blocks on the row before, below there, and I'm right above that double crochet. So that works out because I need to have 1, 2, 3, 4 open blocks for this row. So chain 1, double crochet in the top of the double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the top of the double crochet. So do that 4 times. Okay, so I have my 4 blocks there, open blocks, and I have to put my 3 double crochets to end. And always get that last one into your chain. Okay, so we are done row 4. Let me add a few more numbers over here. So I've added some more of my numbers and more of my directions. So now we are on row 5. We're working this way. So we'll start with a closed in block, 3 open blocks, then we have all these closed in blocks. We'll end with 3 open blocks, 1 closed block. So we're going to start with our first 3 double crochets. So we'll start with chain 2. Turn. So put our second and third double crochet in there. 3 open blocks. So just over these 3 here. So chain 1, do our double crochet, so we'll do that 3 times. Yes, we have our 3 open blocks. Let's count how many double crochets we need. So we have 2 for each, and then 1 at the end. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, and one more is 35. Or you could just make double crochets all the way over until you are over this block and on top of this double crochet, because we need to have just 3 open ones. Okay, so I'll meet you when you get there. All right, so now I have my 35 double crochets. And my last double crochet is in the correct position over here. It leaves me with 3 open spaces in the row before. So chain 1, I'm going to skip that space and double crochet in the top of the double crochet. Do that 3 times. And at our end, of course, we have our 3 double crochets. So row 5 is complete. Row 6, we are going to be working this way. So now we're going to be starting at the bottom of the mouth. So for row 6, we're going to start with our first set of 3 double crochets. So we'll do our chain 2, then our 2 more double crochets. Okay, to read this row, we see we've just done our first solid block. Now we have 2 open blocks. So we'll chain 1, double crochet over our double crochet from the row before, chain 1 and another double crochet. Okay, so that gives us our 2 open blocks right there. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 solid blocks. So 6 times 2 will be 12, because remember we have 2 stitches per block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then this last one, 13. So we'll do 13 double crochets. Remember, when you're double crocheting over an open block, just go right into that block, to that chain 1 space. So we'll do 13. Okay, so I have my 13 double crochets. So that's bringing me right to here. Now I have to make these 3 open blocks. So remember that last double crochet is this line. So I'm going to start with a chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So chain 1, then I skip a double crochet and do a double crochet into the top of that one. Okay, so now I have my 3 open blocks, which are these 3 open blocks. Now we have to do this part. So I've already got this double crochet, but we can count it in how many we need altogether. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I already have 1. I'm going to make 4 more double crochets. Okay, so I have my 5 double crochets right there. Now our pattern calls for 3 more open blocks. So remember, we have that first double crochet right here. So we start with a chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So I have my second set of 3 open blocks. Now we're going to finish with these blocks here. So let's count how many double crochets in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that should be 5 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1 is 11. So let's make sure we've got 11 double crochets. So I've got 1 there. Okay, I've just finished my 11 double crochets. And we can see that there are 2 open blocks left at the end of this row. And I am positioned above that, so I have my double crochet above that double crochet, chain 1, double crochet on my double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So I have those last 2 open blocks, and then I'll finish with my 3 double crochets. I'm only doing 2 double crochets because I already had that 3rd one there. Okay, so that's the end of the 6th row. So our 7th row, we are coming this way. So again, we're going to start with a solid block, 2 open blocks. So chain 2, turn. It's really important in each row that your stitches match exactly. If you're 1 off, it's really going to make a difference. So make sure if one row does not come out as you expect it to, like have a look through it, make sure, recount your stitches, find out if you have a mistake and where it is, and then just go back and fix that. Okay, so for row 7, I'm going to start with our 3 double crochets. Okay, so we have 2 open blocks and then 4 closed blocks. So for open blocks, it's chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So now with our 4, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, and 1 more is 9. So we already have 1 double crochet. So I've done my 9 double crochet. Now I'm going to have 4 open blocks. And our 3rd one should match up over the one down below. So chain 1, skip a double crochet, double crochet, and we can see that block is down there, so we're good. So chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. Okay, so we have these 4 open blocks done. Now we have to do these 2 closed blocks, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets. So we've already done 1. So 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that's that bottom tooth completed. 1, 2, 3, 4 more open blocks. So after those 4 open blocks, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 closed ones. So that's going to be 10 plus 1 is 11 double crochets. So we already have the 1 there, and at the end of this row we're going to be stopping right here above this last double crochet before our chain 1 space. So it should work out. So I have 11 of them done. Now we have the 2 open blocks, so chain 1, double crochet on the top of that double crochet, chain 1, and we're ready for our final 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. So row 7 is completed. For row 8, we're going to work this way. So from left to right, we're going to start with our usual double crochet, two more double crochets to make that first solid block. Okay, so we can see we've got 1 open block. So that's chain 1, double crochet on the top of that next double crochet to make that open block. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 closed blocks. So that's 10, because 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So you would count 11 double crochets. So remember, when you are working over an open block and you're doing a solid one, you're just going to double crochet into that chain 1 space. So that's 2. So I'm done my 11 double crochets. So there are 2 open blocks next to that. So chain 1, skip a double crochet. I'm going to double crochet into the top of the next one. Chain 1, we're working over an open block, so we're just going to double crochet over that double crochet. So that gives us 2. Now we're forming the top teeth, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets. We have our 1, so 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we have an open space again, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 open blocks. So chain 1, so we'll do 3 more open blocks to have 4 in total. Okay, there are the 4 open blocks. Now we have 2 closed ones, so that's, remember, that's going to be 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're starting off with one of our double crochets. So after those 5, then we're going to do 2 more open blocks. So we've got that completed. So now we have to do 1, 2, 3, 4 more closed blocks. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9, so that's 9 double crochets. So we already have 1. So now we're ending with 1 open block and then our ending 3 double crochet. Okay, that is the end of row 8. Row 9, we're going to work this way. So from right to left, you're going to do your solid block, 1 open block. Remember to count all these double crochets. So the black lines plus the middle of the block would all be double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
and 7.
Make your open blocks. Make sure that you have the right number of double crochets here, the right number of open blocks, double crochets again, your open blocks, all the way across. I know you can do it, just follow the pattern. Then I'll meet you at the end of this row and I will show you how I completed my row and we can count the stitches on mine. Okay, so I have finished row 9. Hopefully you've finished it also. So at the very beginning, there are the 3 double crochets. There's a chain 1 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochets. That's for this space. 1, 2, 3 open spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets for here. 1, 2, 3, 4 open spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3 open spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 double crochets. My open space for here and then the ending closed space, the 3 double crochets. So just put this under here. It's easier to see if it's on black than on white. So we can see that the mouth is formed now. We've finished the mouth. You can check off number 9. Now the mouth was the most tricky part of this whole graph to complete. So 9 rows are completed. The 10th row we can see is a fairly easy row. We just have the 1 solid block. There's 1 open block here. We go all the way to the end to our second last block is open, and then that one is a closed block. So just as long as you are counting the right number of stitches, you should be fine. The 11th row again is the same as the 10th. Then you have to insert the nose and the eyes and then the stem. So if you continue along the way that I've shown you and count the stitches, your double crochets, just like I've taught you how, then you should be fine. For me to do each row, the video would be way too long and my upload speed at my house is not great. So I hope the rest of the pumpkin goes along fine for you. Here I have mine over here. Again, it's much easier to see from a distance, not up close. So I hope you enjoy making this really cute filet crochet pumpkin. Please like my video, subscribe to my channel, and you can follow along with some other great projects. So have a great day and happy crocheting!